Good day, everyone. My name is Florence Opudole, and you are watching the Multicultural Community Hour. Today, we have the pleasure of having Elizabeth Aluk Andrea and Nyamal Jack with us today. Elizabeth is an active member of the African, Canadian, and South Sudanese community in Manitoba. Elizabeth holds a BA degree from University of Winnipeg. She pursued passion in the areas of women and girls' rights, education, and empowerment. Elizabeth is the co-founder and president of the Manitoba Women for Women of South Sudan, Incorporated, a board member of the Manitoba Association of Rights and Liberties, Manitoba, Manitoba Council for International Cooperation, and Coalition of Advocates for South Sudanese. A former member of the Institute of International Women's Rights, Manitoba, Elizabeth participated in many conferences, peace-building initiatives, and trauma-informed workshops in USA, Canada, and South Sudan. Elizabeth participated in United Nations Commission of Status of Women in New York in 2018. Elizabeth worked at the Freedom International School in downtown Winnipeg as an assistant teacher. Welcome, Elizabeth, to our show. And also we have Nyamal Jack, a student. Nyamal Jack is a second-year student at the University of Winnipeg. Her cultural background is South Sudanese. She enjoys being involved in the community and has been actively engaged as the youngest board member at Manitoba Women for Women of South Sudan. She enjoys spending time with other like-minded youth and has found comfort in the similar stories we share and the similar goals we hope to achieve. Her other community involvements are with the Canadian Council of Young Feminists. She immigrated as a refugee to Canada at the age of 13. She is a pre-med student at the University of Winnipeg. Welcome. Thank you, Elizabeth and Nyamal, for joining us. You are at Community Hour, and Community Hour is happy to have you here today to our show. And we are so excited to have you talk about all the initiatives that women of South Sudan are doing in Manitoba. So thank you to the show. Before we start, I just want to ask if you can tell viewers what is the goal of Women of South Sudan?
Thank you for having us. The goal of Women for Women of South Sudan is to empower women and also found it ourselves because we are the first generation in diaspora, especially in Canada. And the organization itself was formed out of experience. As many of you out there may know, the War of Sudan, which is the longest war in 21st century, and also took a lot of life, was estimated as 2.5 million died, and we had the first agreement, peace, was in 2005, which has led to secession of the country, independent of South Sudan in 2011. Mm-hmm. Manitoba Women for Women primary members are South Sudanese and African women and our friend Canadians who are members of the organization. It mainly focuses on women and children. Our activities, we have a center now, and our activities are multitask. We have a program for women, women's circle, and we have also activities for the youth. We have summer program and activities for youth and the children. That's to promote and also to empower them in terms of education, in terms of social empowerment, and all aspects that we can do to empower women.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for being here today and for sharing with us your wealth of experience. And we know that in our world of today, many people are living under such circumstances. Many are facing conflicts in their areas and are coming out of these conflicts. Elizabeth, do you have anything to share with individuals that are experiencing wars and that are going to live through these wars and after the war?
Thank you for that question. It is hard. First, being in the war, for us, as I said, the organization was formed out of experience. The war of Sudan, it took long years. And we share experience now with what is going on in the world. We really, really do understand it very well and share the pain. It is hard to be uprooted. When you are uprooted from your own place and then being in the street looking for a peace, looking for something where to just to put your head, where to find the food for your children, losing your loved one is very hard. So the trauma that come out of that is for life. I would say I was born in war and grew up in war and have my own children in war of Sudan.
How does that feel?
It feels not good. It feels not good, especially if I see what is going on now in Ukraine, in Gaza, in Sudan, in DRC, in Russia, wherever there is war.
I guess my question will be, how does Women for Women of South Sudan grapple with, it's like a reliving same experience over and over when they watch on the television of what is going on still in Sudan, in DRC, in Gaza, in Ukraine, and in Russia, and all those places. How do they go by day?
Yeah, you feel it like just today. It's like just yesterday. It's happening to you. Not yesterday. It's like, all the experience come up, and your heart is there, and trauma is just there. If you don't sleep about what you are seeing, and all the pain that come up, you are traumatized. It doesn't go away, and your heart is there. And you are hopeless. What to do? It's just to ask people who are out there who have a voice, who can do the different, to come down for a peace. People have to talk it out, have a dialogue, and save life. So the trauma is too high. It's very high, and there is no way that world can be a peaceful world while all this thing going on.
Viewers, we are happy to have the co-founder of Women for Women of South Sudan, Elizabeth Andrea Aluk, with us today, talking to us about trauma, about living through war and moving on to live in a peaceful country like Canada and in Manitoba. We are happy to have you, Elizabeth. And just moving on to the war, and now women of South Sudan that are here living in the community. And again, I will come to you, Nyamal.
Yes.
If you can speak from the young people's perspective, how do they view Sudan at this time?
Us young people, I mean, when I for one, my experience is a little bit different because I've experienced it firsthand. Most of the young people here have been born here, and they get to see it through their parents. I mean, they don't have as much of a relation to it because they really haven't been there. But like Elizabeth said, trauma is lasting. Trauma can be passed down. So your child comes home from school and sees their parent is mourning a loved one who's been killed over there. Of course, the child is also going to resonate with that too. So to youth, we are also experiencing that sense of loss from relatives who we never knew, who we wish we would have known too.
It's interesting you raised that part of, children grief resonating with children more than the actual thing that they see on TV for children that are born here.
Yeah.
So as a young person, what will you advise that for all individuals or families that are in that position now? Say, for instance, people that have families in Gaza or in the Ukraine or in DRC Congo, knowing that their parents will have that call
Yeah.
and then, start crying. Is there anything that the youth of South Sudanese are doing to help other youths in that area?
Mental health is what I find a lot of young Canadians or South Sudanese Canadians youth are advocating for, because when you come home and you guys mourn a loved one, you guys kind of feel like you're in your own little circle. Outside of that, your friends have never been to war, and you can't just go and tell them. You can't relate to them that way. So they feel very alone, which then just adds to the depression. Mm-hmm. But we come together and just listen and just talk. Then we feel, and then we start to relate to each other, because then we hear each other out. And just talking and saying your problems is what we find to be the most healing.
Do you feel lonely in that times when these things? Do you feel that the Winnipeg or Manitoba youths, other youths that are not experiencing these kind of wars are not fully understanding?
Yeah, I feel like I have to explain even more to get that empathy from them, because when I tell them, oh, I lost my uncle yesterday, it's like, oh, but they can't really fully grasp it. Mm-hmm. So we have things like Women's Circle, mm-hmm. and we did one program just a few months ago where youth came and just, we listened, and it was an open mic. You could just get up and say, and we even had other people who don't have a background of war, who've always been in Canada, come to it. Mm-hmm. And it also gave them context as to how to approach their refugee friends and how to help them deal with it. And it's just to listen.
Wow. Thank you, Nyamal, for being here. Viewers, you are watching New Multicultural channel, and today we have Manitoba Women for Women of South Sudan. And we have Elizabeth and Nyamal from South Sudanese community here to talk to us about what it means coming from a war conflict area and living in Manitoba, which is a peaceful community. Mm-hmm. And today they are sharing with us how to live after the trauma of war, mm-hmm. and all that the Manitoba Women for Women of South Sudan is doing to encourage individuals that are passing through same route. So today you are welcome again.
Thank you.
I wanted to start again by the women's circles that you talked about. How is that going?
It's going well. The purpose of it, to have a women's circle, is to share experience, to release yourself, what you are sharing your story or sharing or hearing from other sisters there. It lifts you up. We deal with mental issues, as Nyamal just mentioned. This is the way how we want to cope with it.
How often do you hold that?
We have it once a month, just has a women's circle to share their...
what day is that?
That depends to the last week of the month.
Last week of the month?
Yes, last week of the month that we do women's circle.
Okay.
And we address all the issues like trauma issues and mental health issues. You can share. And if we find that somebody is really struggle, then we can see other further to refer where they can get proper help than what we have.
Nyamal, this question goes to you if you can. Do you see the youth of South Sudanese community being alienated by all this? Like you said, some grew up here a lot. We are born here and growing up here. Mm-hmm. They are seeing wars and conflicts and all this trauma through the television. Do you think they fully grasp what it means? Or do you see like a difference between the youth of some youth and those that were born, like you that experienced the war itself?
I think they do fully grasp it in some sense, because they feel like it's their responsibility to, because they're talking. As South Sudanese, we have a lot of pride, and we try to keep our kids very connected to our culture. So our parents very much keep us informed on what is going on. So we definitely get we have knowledge of what is going on. But yes, as for me, a first-hand person who gets to see it, yeah, I think there would be a little bit of a disconnect there, because even as I came here to Canada, I have moments where I actually tune out and forget that I was once a refugee, because you see it's such a peaceful place, you go out with your friends, you forget sometimes, but then, yeah, you come back and...
So what advice will you give to young people from communities that are facing wars back home?
Definitely. I would say talk about it. Yeah, don't keep it to yourself. Unfortunately, there is a lot of people that can relate to you. It shouldn't be the case that there's someone out there who just... shouldn't be the case that there should be a lot of refugees in the world, but unfortunately, talk about it. There's someone who is going to relate. There's someone you can bond, and there's someone who can listen, like you guys. Yeah.
Thank you. That's true. That's true. Anyway, thank you all. Thank you to both of you for giving us insight more on what it is to live through the war and now living our life as a peaceful individual in a peaceful environment. And viewers, you're watching Multicultural Channel, Community Hour, a place where we discuss our community. We are in Winnipeg community, and inside the Winnipeg community, we have other communities that make up a huge community. Yeah. And today we have the Manitoba Women for Women of South Sudan, the president herself with us, to talk to us about the organization and what they are doing to empower the women of South Sudan. So we are going to move on past the war, now living in Winnipeg and in our community.
Yeah.
I want you to talk to us about the women of the Manitoba Women for Women of South Sudan.
Thank you. Manitoba Women for Women of South Sudan is a very strong will, and founded itself in a good place where we experience peace, where we see the first initial that encouraging us to form this organization is the way things are going here in Canada. We felt that peace, that's the first thing, that's what we were looking for. We felt peace, and then also we felt how we can integrate into the bigger society in a healthy way. At least you have to inform yourself, you have to be organized, you have to see, to involve within the system and within the community, and this is one way to do it. So we inform ourselves. Now we are here, our organization is more than 10 years being formed. We are active, we are connected to the people. There are people of Canada, of Manitoba, are really friendly. They like to help, and we are helping. Now we are kind of a stand of on our own. We build a network of friends who are there for us, who listen, as Nyamal said, to you. It is important to share. To share your pain, to share your emotional loneliness and all this. There are friends out there. So Manitoba Women for Women is active for many aspects. As I mentioned earlier, we have women activities, we do events, we do peace the table or peace events. We do multicultural, tasty food. We are out also if there is any event or any program going on there within the community or other organizations, we also participate to share.
How do you deal with women facing violence and in their homes, or women? Do you come across women issues like that?
We have a space now, so we have a center where there is a space for the women. If you want a peace, a space to relax or share, we have that space. Also, we are open. But this organization is to address the issues of facing women. Mm-hmm. So, yes, we come across those kind of issues or topic, and we discuss. If it is in our level of containing it, then we would do that. If it is out of our level of managing it, then we refer it to other places like Aurora and other places, yes, to deal with it.
I'm glad you shared that. Thank you so much. Viewers, this is Multicultural Channel, and you're watching Community Hour. In the community, there are spaces, there are ideas, there are initiatives, and there are actors, and there are allies.
Yes.
And today, in one of we are having the Manitoba Women for Women of South Sudan, the president and one of the board members, a youth, Nyamal, who is here to talk to us about what is going on in the community. And today we are also pleased to know and learn more about their activities and the youth activities that they are having. You spoke about open mic. I'm interested to hear more about the open mic session. Yeah. I think it's wonderful. Yeah. We are people, I think it's a good initiative. Yeah. So could you please tell the viewers more about that open mic session?
Yeah, it was during end of March. We had students from CMU, student from University of Winnipeg come and just be expressive, and we kind of had a wide range of, they could sing a song, they could bring food, they could write speeches, in whatever form they wanted to express their how they find life here as a immigrant in Winnipeg, and they were very ecstatic about it, and they came, and it was a great time for sure.
I think it's a wonderful initiative, especially in our day where a lot of communities are looking for ideas. And I think it's also an opportunity for young people to connect in the area that they want to, you know. So thank you for that, and thank you for the Manitoba Women for Women of South Sudanese for that initiative. And do you hope to have more of that?
100%, for sure.
100%?
Yes.
I just wanted to know whether you will be able to connect with other organizations while you are doing that.
Our main goal for outreach was with universities, because it was a lot of youth. It was also most, I guess, students don't really, they just focus. They have a goal that they don't take that time to talk about things outside of classes. But as to other organizations, yeah, we definitely hope to reach there's a lot of youth organizations in Winnipeg, and we definitely hope to reach out more in the future.
Okay. Thank you, Nyamal. And I guess I'll come back to you, Elizabeth. I wanted to talk about mental health. And I know it's a topic that it's not often discussed within the African community, and it's not a topic that we all like to talk about, but unfortunately it's there. And in today's world where a lot of violence and trauma is happening, could you enlighten the public on how the Women for Women of South Sudan is dealing with mental trauma? I don't want to go back to trauma, but mental wellness.
Yes. We had a program even during the COVID. We do it online, and now we have a space, so we do it in person. where we invite women or anybody can come also to say I have something or I feel something.
How often do you do that?
Our office is open from 10 to 4 or 5 every day, like weekdays to Saturday. So we have staff in the office where can report to us, and then we'll address the issue. When as we reach out, we call, we follow up with our participant and check on them and see if there is anything, then we address it right away. Those are the things. In our situation or situation of other similar like us out there, it's not easy. As we said, all the emotion, all the trauma, all the pain is still with you. Mm-hmm. It's just to find a way how to manage it. But in our culture background, it's not easy to talk about mental health or to admit it. Mm-hmm. It's kind of, there is a stigma there or something like a shame. It's not easy to be admit. Mm-hmm. But we encourage, we encourage ourselves when we are in that circle or in that discussion to share, to talk about it.
Yeah.
And reach out and get help.
Yeah.
If you don't get help, it get worse, and you have children or you have family to attend to. It's not easy. And also with Woman for Woman, it's not only addressing those kind of issues here in Canada. Mm-hmm. Also, we have a mandate to reach back home. Mm-hmm. So we have some programs back home to address this. We have program for trauma healing and mental health, support education. Like, in our communities, to educate a young girl like this is not easy. Yeah. So we advocate for education, and when you educate a woman, you educate a nation. And this is more needed to be done, whether back home or here, to encourage our young and especially women, young girls, to be educated and participated in this kind of issues, or a program where it is intergeneration organization hours. So you educate those young for tomorrow leaders and take the place.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Yeah. Thank you, viewers. Elizabeth had just said it. Elizabeth is the founder for the Manitoba Women for Women of South Sudan, and they have their office at 372 Notre Dame Avenue here in Winnipeg, just beside Calvary Temple. Mm-hmm. And viewers, the Manitoba Women for Women of South Sudan have their doors open all the time. If you have any need to talk to someone regarding trauma or anything regarding mental health, it is the first women organization formed by an African group here in Winnipeg. Their doors are open, and if you're a woman and you feel like talking to someone whom you think will understand you better, Women for Women of South Sudan is located again at 372 Notre Dame, Winnipeg, Notre Dame Avenue. This is an organization that is well informed, that have gone through lived experiences of war and conflict in their hometown, and are being connected to the same conflict at the same time. So you are sure that you'll be met with equal experience. Viewers, today again, we'll still come back to you, Elizabeth, okay. But I just want to talk a little bit about the young people. Let me just say, young people from Africa or Black or even in Manitoba in general are open to coming together on issues relating to community.
It's one of the great things I love about being youth. Mm-hmm. I think as we're figuring out who we are, we are also trying to figure out what is right.
So can I stop there?
For sure.
When you say you're figuring out who you are, what do you mean by that?
As I think everyone goes through this as a youth, you're trying to figure out who do I want to be, what's my purpose in life? It's a big question that everyone wrestles with, and I feel like you wrestle with it most as a youth.
Question.
Yeah, it's a big question. And once we're in the midst of figuring that out, we're also trying to figure out what is right. And most of the time when we're trying to figure out, it leads us to knowing more about the community. It leads us to seeing, what is right is helping others. And so most youth are definitely open to being a part of the community, helping out in any way they can, because that's what our parents have told us is right, and that's what we've discovered is the right thing to do too. So definitely.
Do you think you are being heard in whatever circles you see yourself?
I think so. I think we're being heard more. I know it used to be a stigma where it's like, youth are just energetic people with bad ideas. But now we've been given such a platform that I feel like we're being heard more. Even the fact that I'm here, I'm being heard. So it's
Good. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
That's really optimistic.
Yeah.
A lot of young people will say, we are not being heard. We are not being heard. And I'm just so glad to hear that we are making impact. Viewers, this is wonderful to know that young people feel in their community. And that is the thing about community, right? That you start from your community to build your community, and that you be heard because your community understands you. And that is the importance of this show, Community Hour, where we talk about our community, okay? How we build our community from the bottom up.
Yes.
And people like you, thanks to people like you who are doing great work in the community to make it better. So thank you, Elizabeth. I want to talk about empowerment. You talked about empowerment, women empowerment.
Yes.
What does that mean to the women of South Sudan?
Women empowerment is very important at the Women for Women of South Sudan. The organization itself, it kind of platform to empower women. We do some training, for example, business training or any kind of training that we get a grant for it, we do it. For example, last year we had a business training, like how to inform a small business to encourage women, so they can come out and take this kind of training. We got a consultant that train and also follow up with a business plan and guide you until you settle. So this is one of the things that we do. Also with other many workshops that we do to empower women. So it is a task for us, and it is important avenue to focus on it, because our women or where we come from, there is not much encouragement for the woman to, to build herself, to have her own income or independent financially. That's we do encourage that at Manitoba Women for Women of Sudan. Yeah. It is important when you are independent financially and contribute to, bring something to the table, which can support the family to be a strong family.
How do you think this has been going? Will you say it's been going well for your group?
I would say it go well because we had this training took place, and the number was 18 members who participate, and then you select like 5 women who have the good idea of business or who have a business that need to be supported. Select 5 or 6 from them and then support that group with the business plan, with the coaching, and all other need that person need to grow and build her business.
Okay. Yeah. And are you and I know every organization will say, I already know the answer, but it's good to say it again. Do you get all the funding you need to do all the work you want to do?
We are working hard. We are working hard to write some grant and reach out to do fundraising, through grants. We are thankful. We are grateful to what we got so far, but it's not enough to sustain. We need, that will be my message out there. If you have something that to support Manitoba Women for Women of South Sudan, then support us of that ongoing support grant or something that to build these women.
Amazing work. Thank you, Elizabeth. Viewers, you are watching New Multicultural Channel Community Hour, and today we have the president and one of the youth board member here to represent the organization. The organization is focusing on women's rights, empowerment, and growth in the community, and also how to live through trauma and live a better life.
Yeah.
Today, they also talked about all their programs and projects that they are doing and would like support. If anyone watching this show would like to support what they do, please visit their website, www.womenforwomen.ca.
Yes.
And thank you again for being here. And today we have Nyamal Jack, who immigrated to Canada as a refugee at the age of 13. And today she's studying at the University of Winnipeg as a pre-med student. She has her eyes on being a medical doctor. Yes. So Nyamal, can you tell us how you transform yourself, your mental health, and all those trauma to something positive such as this?
The moment we arrived, I think I took it as an opportunity. The fact that I'm here, I am one in millions of refugees who never got this chance of being here, and I feel like that statistics is just wild. So the fact that I'm here is definitely a God-given opportunity that I didn't want to waste. So I thought I should just, I saw it as that, and I should just follow what I've always wanted to do. As a refugee back at home, you didn't have the opportunity to dream as big. So coming to Canada, I just thought I should. So yeah, I want to be a pre-medicine. I'm doing pre-medicine because I want to be a doctor, and hopefully I can achieve that.
What's your advice to young families that are immigrating from conflict zones into Canada? What advice will you give to the young ones that they are coming with?
To the young ones, I would say definitely still stay connected with your culture. It's still your history, it's yours, and you should own it for sure. Don't be embarrassed that you have a refugee past. It's part of your story, and move forward and build on that, because it's an opportunity for you. Yeah,
I like that. A lot of us from past don't let go of our past, and I think it holds us back. And it holds us back from building this community that we are talking about. A peaceful community, a lovely community, and a community that is inclusive of everyone. So thank you for sharing that. And Elizabeth, do you have any word you want to share concerning your past and now living in the present?
Thank you for giving me that opportunity. I would say I'm grateful to be here in Canada. And from being abroad.
How long have you lived here in Canada?
About 27
years.
Yeah.
I just asked the question because that's how far the war has been in South Sudan. A lot of our viewers forget that the war has been long in Sudan, and these are products of what war can bring, and you are here today to talk about it and to give hope to those that are facing the same situation. So thank you for being here.
Yes, as I said, being uprooted from South Sudan, to Khartoum, to Egypt. I was in Egypt for 7 years and then immigrated to Canada as a refugee. Is not easy. My prayer is out there for peace in the world. Because for us, those who experience, whether you are in a camp or you are in a neighbor country, from place to place, and there is a lot of things going on. There is no peace. There is a lot of things can go wrong. Even you are in a neighbor country, you think that now the house, for example, those of us who were in Egypt, your house can have more than 20 people, 30 people to accommodate, because it's just that's the way you need to support others. But you don't know what is going on in the house. So I say there is a hope to those who are going through war now. There is a hope, and peace will come. Even it's midnight now, there is tomorrow will come with the good news of peace. Let's just continue to pray for peace, and so that all people can experience peace in the world. You know, you can tell that thinking now is just reliving
the trauma again.
Your trauma again. So, and especially for the women and children and elderly, may God be with people who are going through in this. And the education is important for us when we come here or wherever we are. With thing to our children, like Nyamal is doing, we are pleased, is to focus for education and be a good resident of the world, and be a peaceful person, contribute to the world, involve in activities that can make a difference. That's will be my message to you out there. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that last word, Elizabeth. Thank you, viewers, for joining us today. We had the honor and pleasure of having Elizabeth Aluk and Nyamal Jack from the Manitoba Women for Women of South Sudan join us today in the Community Hour. In the community, we are people. We have animals, we have families, we have our environment. Everyone in the community and everything is important in building a peaceful community. So it is our duty as people to ensure that the community we find ourselves lives, that we are in peace and everything grows together. So we have to take care of our environment, take care of the people that makes up the community, and ensure that everyone is at peace with each other. And that is the goal of the Community Hour, where we bring people together to talk about what makes their community great. And today we had Women for Women of South Sudan talking about the women of South Sudan and the trauma they have gone through. We are experiencing war in countries around us, and we know that Manitoba have people related to those cultures as well. And today's show is dedicated to all the families that are living in conflict zones, or all the families that are represented here in our community called Winnipeg that have relations living in conflict zone. We are dedicating this show to them to think about trauma and how they will live past this conflict. So thank you, Elizabeth, for sharing with us, and thank you, Nyamal, for sharing with us that there is hope. Even though the news today is not that great, but tomorrow we look forward to a better tomorrow. So I'm so glad and happy to have you here today. And viewers, join me in thanking Nyamal and Elizabeth for the wonderful work they are doing in the community. Hope that your community continue to benefit from all this. And also the doors are open to other communities. If you want to know more about what they do, please visit their website. I'll also knock on their door on 372 Notre Dame Avenue here in Winnipeg. Thank you for joining, and thank you for watching this show.